time out of your schedule to tune into our YouTube channel. Today, as I was reflecting, I realized as teaching my daughters, it's important not to concern yourself with what others think, and I realized that I had some residue left. Hopefully you'll hear something that resonates with your spirit that you can take with you on your homeschool journey. So today, I'm coming to you addressing some more of the Homeschooling 2020 COVID-19 series. And what has been occurring to me as a mother is the thought and idea of working on not really caring what other people think. And I thought I had overcome that issue, but apparently there's still some residue lurking around in the background of my psyche of concerning myself with what do other people think about you, or finding myself when I'm in the middle of a conversation and I know that someone else is listening, I'm thinking, oh, I wonder what they think. Maybe I shouldn't be so candid or should alter my words because they're listening and they don't know me. There's two trains of thought with that. One, I do need to make sure that whatever I'm speaking from a place of truth, and I'm speaking in a way that's pleasing unto the Lord. And second is be myself in the midst of the conversation while encompassing the fact that God is present. And even though someone else is listening, whether they agree with me or not is really not my concern. And the most important thing for me to do is be true. And in doing that, my kids will see their mom and they'll model what I'm putting forward. Because when you have residue lingering around, we may not know it, but your kids also see that. And then they also reproduce the things that they see us doing. My pastor preached a lesson a while back on we teach what we know, but we reproduce who we are. And that's just the fact of the matter, because our kids are seeing us, they hear us, but more than anything, they see us, they see what we do, they see who we are. And when you're living with someone daily, your actions are what comes through. So that's what I've been working on, because I was talking to a friend and midway inside as we're speaking, I thought to myself, someone's listening to me. Maybe I should taper my conversation, or I guess curve it so it doesn't come across so, I guess, candid. And I did not like the way that felt. And I actually love living in a space where I can be authentic and true. So that's just one of the things I wanted to share with you guys. And also the fact that we are teaching our children through our actions, and we'll see that. And one of the other things I just want to caution you to do during this time is just to make sure you allow your kids to be themselves and not to place your goals and your ideas of who they should be upon them, because God has given each one of us our own identity. And it is in that identity that we are to find who we are. And our job is just to help our children develop into their own individual selves, and not compare our children to us or compare our children to someone else, because the fact of the matter is the space in which they hold is theirs. They cannot hold someone else's space. The next person can only, the wind is blowing outside, so it's actually catching me. The one thing that we can't do is hold somebody else's space and energy. We can only hold our own space and our own energy, because the next person in which we're looking at and trying to emulate, that space and energy is already occupied with them, and God has already ordained that to be their space. So I'm teaching my girls, as I teach myself, to hold my own space and hold my own energy, feel and be cognitive of those things. Now, it's okay to admire and give kudos, because I'm one of those people. If I see something and I like it and I think somebody's doing a good job, I'll say, hey, that's nice. Just the other day we were at Home Depot and I saw a lady who had some killer legs. I mean, they were nice. And I simply said, ma'am, your legs are fabulous. Then that doesn't mean that I want her legs, because if I did, I'd go work out. And I don't have it in me, or I'm not that I guess, disciplined enough, or I don't want them bad enough to go do whatever it is that she do to get those legs. And some of those things are genetic. So we just have to be careful when we're looking around at others and making sure that we are happy for them with the space that they're holding, but hold our own space while not trying to replicate somebody else's energy, because it's going to fail. It's not going to work in our favor. And I'm learning that in my parenting techniques. I'm learning that in being my own individual and being my own person as a wife. I can only be the best mother I can be. I can only be the best wife I can be. I can only be the best daughter I can be, the best servant I can be, the best friend I can be. And I can't measure myself against someone else, because you're going to always fall short, because that person is measured against the scale that God has created for them. So we must learn to measure ourselves against the scales that God has created for us. Our path is unique, and the way we operate and move through the world is going to be totally different than the way someone else operates and moves through the world. With that in understanding, we have to know that energy is still energy. Positive energy begets positive energy. And we all want to be with those people who have positive energy. So try to understand that these are things that are all encompassed in one space and time, but they're separate entities. And knowing that, yeah, you hang out with people who are doing good things, but also understand that you need to tamper or make sure you're not leaning toward trying to be like somebody else and etching out your own path, because your path is designed and set solely for you. And in doing so, understand and teach your children that their path is designed and set only for them. God gave us everything we needed to have when we came into this world to be who we needed to be. There are many pathways in which we can go down. And also give up the thought that yesterday could have been any different. Even in parenting, if you make a mistake in homeschooling, give up the thought that yesterday could have been any different, because it's gone. All we can do is start anew from where we are in that particular moment, and ask God's grace to be upon us and upon our children and upon our families. So those are the things in which I've been thinking about lately. For myself, because I realized that there's some residue there that I thought wasn't there, and concerning myself with what other people thought, and freeing yourself of that is a breath of fresh air. So that's what I'm working on in conjunction with other things that I've spoke to you about with my children through this homeschool journey and process. And I would like to encourage you all to spend a little bit more time talking to your children, listening to them, and just hearing them. Not so much trying to have a response in the moment, just sitting, listening, and hearing them. Maybe later you can come back and address something that you heard, but sometimes it just helps to listen so that your kid knows they can speak to you, and you'll just listen and not trying to critique them. Which, let me say hello, Leslie. Sometimes I do that, and I am working on that, especially with my teenage daughter. So I'm just sharing my thoughts with you this morning, or this afternoon, and I'm hoping that you are moving forward and you spent some time with God this morning, even if it was just to thank you, God, for waking me up and letting me move through this day. And remember, we are in this together, however cliche it sounds, but I do believe that we are actually all tied together through this invisible string, this invisible cord that runs through us. And sometimes you're so connected with people, you can feel the emotions even when you're not in their presence. And that can simply be when a person crosses your mind and you say a prayer for them, or when a person crosses your mind and you say, let me give that person a call. I believe that that's that invisible string that is connecting you with the people whom you have come in contact with, and whom you get to share this journey of life with. And you don't know what that call could mean sometimes. So I encourage you to not put off tomorrow what you can do today. If God sends someone across your spirit, reach out to them, send them a text. Hey, thought about you today.